The year is 2023. We are now officially 40 years into the future, and I'm about to dig my Commodore equipment out of the back of the garage. There's plenty of other videos about Commodore 64s and stuff out there, so here's another one. Well, let's get started. Most of this stuff, well, all of it, has been back here for 35, 40 years, something like that. I don't know. I've seen some of it, and a lot of it I haven't seen since then, so let's see what we've got here. This is a VIC-20 I bought after the Commodore 64. I got it cheap. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I got it just for fun. It's got a cartridge in the back here, an 8K RAM cartridge. I guess the VIC-20 had 20K of memory, and this extended it a bit, another 8K. K, not megabytes. I mean, like a megabyte is a floppy disk. 1.4 megabytes is a little 3.5-inch floppy disk you may have seen. But these, I mean, this is like nothing. And it probably cost a lot. Ugh. VIC-20, wow. Alright, and this is the case for my Commodore 64. I transferred the motherboard into a more modern case at one point. This is the original. I'm going to hang on to that in case I want to transfer it back for some reason. The new cases are way cooler. Kind of look a bit like the Amiga did. So we'll see what we can do with that. Wow. This is a joystick, obviously. Well, it's all grungy. Apple or IBM. Now, this is not the same connector. Well, this is for the Commodore 64. I guess it worked. I don't know. We'll have to find out. I don't know why I would have had this. I didn't have an Apple. Although I did have an IBM, so maybe. We'll see. Okay. This is the original Commodore 64 box that the machine came in. I think it's actually in there. It is. There we go. This is the new case. New, I put in quotes. New case here that I transferred the motherboard into. And one of the function keys is broken. I wonder if that's fixable. Otherwise, it's all in good shape. I seem to remember there being a power issue with a power connector, but I might be confusing it with my Atari 2600, which is also here. Here's the Atari. This is the original. Wow. Can you believe that? We'll have to look into that later. Had a lot of good times with that. So the Commodore 64 in a new case in the original box. And this is a deluxe RS-232 interface. You can hook up, if I remember right, a serial printer or a modem. I don't know why it's got two switches on it. One's in printer mode and one's in modem mode. Huh, interesting. We might need that because I might want to try and transfer some data from this old thing off of my floppy disks and store them on my modern machine. I remember writing some neat programs and stuff like that, so we'll see where we go with that. Okay, let's see. This is just junk. Yep, here we go. Here we've got two 5 1/4 floppy drives, the Commodore 1541. Remember there was drive 8 and drive 9. Remember comma 8, comma 1. It's also comma 9, comma 1. Easy power connections here. I know standard stuff. Serial cables that go from here. You could chain them together so you can have multiple drives, which I obviously did because there were no hard drives in those days. Not affordable, that's for sure. Some of you youngins won't remember 5 1/4 floppies, which I've got a bunch of here. Fast hack 'em. Easy script. Wow, interesting stuff. A lot of downloads. I'm looking forward to seeing what's on there if I still can. Games. These things, only 1.2 megabytes. And actually, I think these were only half-sided, one-sided. You could actually clip the little square in here to make it two-sided and flip it over. But this just went in so simple, like that. This one has a different kind. I must have not bought them at the same time. This is back in the 80s, so who knows? I can't remember that far back. But that'll be fun to look through. So let's put these aside. What else? Power supplies. We're going to need those. Oh, look, here's the function key. F1. I hope I can like glue it back on or something. Looks like maybe I have once. Ah. Little joystick with the button here that clips right onto the side of the machine. And you didn't need another joystick for doing basic things. You wouldn't game with that, but it's good. All right. The VIC modem. Commodore 64 modem. Model 1600. If I remember right, this might be the original 300 baud modem. Hook your phone line into that and hope that Mom doesn't pick up the phone while you're trying to access the bulletin board for BBS. And let's see, this, something I built. It's got a serial interface on it. I don't know if this is Commodore related or not. I can't remember because, I mean, that doesn't bring back any memories. Fast load cartridge for Commodore 64. Not sure how that worked, but it made the loading of stuff on the floppy disk faster. Huh, I'll have to check into that. It's a good thing I do remember it working. Here's a video game, Star Post. Don't remember anything about that. Let's see, what else? Power cable. Here's some joysticks. No, they weren't wireless, the wire's not in here. Here's one with the wire. These got a lot of wear playing games and things, and it didn't last very long. This isn't an Atari one, it's made by Jim Stick. Feels like it's in good condition. There's an original Atari joystick. Let's see what it feels like. Feels good. Might still be functional. I remember opening these things up many times and cleaning them and trying to fix them. I don't think they were expensive, but I don't like to throw stuff away if I can fix stuff. And here's a keypad. This was specifically for a certain game. It says video touchpad, and there was a piece of paper that filled in here and told you what these buttons were. It was, I don't remember what kind of game it was. It seemed like some kind of science fiction game of some kind. I never really got into it. Yeah, let's put these aside. Getting quite a bit of stuff here. All right, what else? I think that's it. It's up here. DVD recorder, other stuff, papers and things. I think there's some more stuff underneath here, so let's check that out. All right, let's see what we've got under here. This is an empty music composer cartridge. I was in a band, and so I guess I wanted to try composing some music. It's got a hole in it here. I think if I remember right, maybe not, could be this or something else. I put a button in there, I can see, where I had one of those. It's a tiny push button from Radio Shack, and hooked up properly, it was turned into a reset button for the computer, so you didn't have to turn it off and on to reset it. You just press that button. Wow, I was a hacker. Let's see what's in here. Is this anything? This is an empty monitor box. Not from the Commodore times. This was a VGA monitor for a PC compatible. Later on days. Oh, this looks interesting. Here's the original box for the fast load cartridge that we saw earlier. Loads disks 5 times faster. Works with most popular programs. Includes assembly language monitor, easy to use. I like that. Oh wow. This is an old dot matrix printer. Was this Commodore related? Yes, it was. I can tell because it's got the round serial Commodore interface here. Dot matrix printer. Okidata 120. A lot like a typewriter kind of. Has this cartridge. I bet a little oil in that and you might actually get it to work because it's probably all dried up. Doubt you can get a replacement cartridge these days. This one here, you could either feed in single sheets or the tractor feed paper. I can see the sprockets here on the side where the paper would come in through here, then out the top. Pretty compact printer actually of that time. I'll bet we can get that working. Let's put it up here. There's some other stuff. It's not computer related. I don't care. I don't know if you care about this, but probably not. MTS stereo decoder. Back in the early days when TV was barely stereo. You had to have special equipment to get that. Scuzzy interface for some modern computer. I don't know what this is. Also scuzzy looking. It's funny, it's got scuzzy input and a power and absolutely nothing else. No lights, no anything. Almost looks like memory or something. We'll have to look into that. Not Commodore related, but of the era. And here's an old set-top TV cable box. I think this was the first cable box ever. I remember when we got cable. I remember thinking that pay-per-view was not pay-per-view, it was pay-per-view. You actually, I thought that you read the paper on the TV screen, which would have been cool. Alright, I think there's just a little bit left. Oh my god. What is this? Oh yeah. Well, these boxes have seen better days. This is a tape drive. This was before I even got the floppy drives. This tape drive worked on both the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20. C2N cassette. Still has a tape in it. Timex. I had a Timex computer too. I doubt that was on here, but this was wild and terrible way of storing data. But it worked, and I was always surprised when it worked. Got another power supply. VIC-20. Like nice that it's labeled. And here is a RF converter. Frank Aguilar. I must have got it from somebody else. But this will hook up the Commodore 64 to a standard TV, which makes me think, I'm not sure what I'm going to hook it up to. I guess it's still possible. We'll find out. Let's put this up here. Ugh, this box is terrible. And paddle controller and joysticks for the Atari. Wow, can't believe I still have the boxes. My mom saved stuff, which is good. Man. It looks like one last thing. This is hamster stuff. I used to have a hamster or two. They were fun. Oh my god. This is what a mess. This is the VIC 1525 dot matrix printer. Wow, that brings back memories. And junk. Still in pretty good condition. I bet it will work. This was tractor feed only. You put your paper through. I don't remember how these open. There we go. And then you had to tear off the holes on the sides. Well, I think that's about it for this archaeological expedition. Technology, archaeology. So, I guess the next step is to take all of this stuff home and play with it and see if we can even get it working anymore. That should be interesting. All right, well, see you on the flip side.